Welcome to another CranNet video tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about setting up your CranNet gradebooks for the coming school year. To start with, navigating to your gradebooks. There's two methods of doing this. The first, using the My Day Schedule and Performance page shown here, I can click on Gradebooks on the right, and this is going to give me a list of links that go directly into the gradebook for any class that I'm listed as the teacher for. I can also go through the course pages by using the top navigation bar, selecting the course I want to edit, and then clicking on the gradebook. Both methods are going to open the gradebook in a separate window as shown here. Today we're focusing on the setup and display options for your gradebook. First off, I'm going to click Edit Setup, and this is going to open up a window for setting our gradebook calculations for the year. First choice, whether we want to set for the full year or marking period. Full year means that whatever calculation method, assignment types, and if we're using weighted assignment type categories, that's going to be consistent through all 4 marking periods for the year. Marking period means that we're going to be able to edit our either weights, calculation method, or assignment types from quarter to quarter. So if we have different assignment types throughout the year, if we have projects in the second quarter but not in first, we're going to want to keep that on marking period. Next, we select our calculation method. There are 3 options: percentages, total points, and total points with weight. We're going to be focusing today on total points with weight, but if you want to see a breakdown of how each one is calculated, you can click the blue eye icon to the right of the drop-down menu to pull up this pop-up window. This is going to give you a text description as well as the actual formula that is used to calculate the cumulative grade for that marking period. So for today, we're going to talk about total points with weight, as that's one of our more common as well as the more complicated option for the gradebook. Next, we'll select our assignment types. Click the button here and it's going to pull up this window. Each of these assignment types is really just a placeholder for a category. So if you have an assignment type that you use in your class that isn't listed here, you can use any of the others as a placeholder for that. It's really just about how you want your calculator to break out the individual grade types. The exception to this are the essay paper, lab write-up, project, and test. These are all flagged in the system as major assignments. This is a valuable tool, particularly for our academic deans, in determining if a student has too many major assignments due on a specific date. So please use those sparingly and only when it is a major assignment. So for today's example, I'm going to go ahead and click Quiz, Project, Homework, and Participation. Apply, and I'm going to see my different assignment types listed here on the left. Next up is one of the major landmines of this system, the letter grade scale. What this does is change your input method from numbers to letters. So instead of having a blank where you can enter in 5 points on a 10-point assignment or 8 points, it's going to give you a drop-down menu of letter grades, which it will then, behind the scenes, translate into a number based on the middle school or upper school grading scale. So by and large, I highly recommend that you leave this blank. Okay, next up is weight. Weight percentage, this is since we're doing total points with weight. This is if you have your assignment set to a specific percentage of the grade. So I'm going to say my homework is 10, participation is 20, project is another 20, and we'll say we're giving enough quizzes that is half of our grade. Notice the total does not update until I click Save, and then it's just a math checker. It'll tell you what percentage you're at. Number to drop. This is a really wonderful tool if you have rather common practice is there are 6 quizzes, but I'm only going to count 5 of them. I can put the number in here, and the gradebook is automatically going to grab the lowest grade and drop that out of the calculation. Now, important note in setting all of this up and why we do this at the beginning. You can add other assignment types later. However, and you can adjust your weight percentage later. However, once you have put a grade in the gradebook for any assignment type, it's going to gray out and not allow you to get rid of that assignment type. It's not going to allow you to change if you told it you wanted letter grade. It's not going to let you do that unless you remove all of the assignments out of that category, including the grades for those assignments. So that's a major pitfall to try to avoid. At the bottom, we have this other handy tool. If I have multiple sections of the same class or multiple classes that all use the same basic breakdown, I can just check here and it'll apply this same calculation method to all of my courses that fall into that. In general, this should show you all of the courses within your division that you are listed as the teacher for. So when that's done, I'm going to click Save and Close, and my setup is complete. Okay, now for the display options, the deceptively important section to get into at the beginning of the year. Now, the first several sections of this are going to be about what information and how you want the gradebook to display for you as you are going through the school year. So first, sort order. You have the option here to group by assignment. That's going to take all of your quizzes, all of your homework, and put them together by either assigned or due date instead of it being one mass. So this can be a handy tool if you want to really check on how your students are doing on quizzes, or if you're specifically looking for homework, you can come in and turn this on and get your groupings a little better. How you want your students listed. If you're, by default, it's going to be last name A to Z, but you can switch to first name. You can reverse the order if you so choose. Next, what kind of information to show. Display options. By default, this is going to be set to the current marking period. You have August 1st set in here because that's when we opened up the course pages for faculty to see, and the last date, that's the last date of the first quarter, automatically entered in. But you can choose if you want to focus in on a week. You can click on the date, select date from the pop-up calendar, and it's going to adjust your display options for that. Cumulative grade column, by default, this should be turned on, and we'll show you the marking period cumulative grade in the first column to the right of the student names. Next, showing in the column header. First, whether you want the full assignment title or just the abbreviation that you put in when you create an assignment in CranNet, and then what additional details you want shown. By default, it'll be set to assignment type, due date, and maximum points. If you want any of those on or off, that's totally up to you. Next, the deceptively important part of this little tour, and that is access. This is who, other than yourself, has access to see what is in your gradebook and what level of detail. So you have 3 checkboxes for each category of person. Show marking period cumulative grades, that's the current marking period, the year cumulative grade, and individual assignment grades, meaning they can click up and get more details and see individual assignment grades and comments that you've put in on those assignments. This is a top-down structure, meaning that in order for any category to see individual assignment grades, both of the upper sections need to be visible as well. You can't show just grades and not show the cumulative. So a better way of looking at this would be to think of this as, do I want to show the cumulative grades? If yes, do I want to see the cumulative, year cumulative? And if yes, do I want to see assignment grades? Now the different categories, advisors, this is the individual advisor for each student. All school advisors, this is going to be the academic deans, division heads, anyone with a higher, any of the administrators at the higher level. All of these are strictly up to you as a faculty member of what level of access you want to give each of these categories. Dorm supervisor, this is specifically if the student is a boarder, whether or not you want their house advisors and the head house advisor for the dorm to have access. Again, gonna just go with the marking period and year cumulative as a really great tool for them to help track progress. Here's one of our more controversial ones, the parents. It is, again, completely up to the faculty member as to whether or not they want to show what level of access they want parents to have. But in general, I advocate turning this off. Students, this is one that is, we have people on both sides of the argument of whether they want the students to see the grades or not. An important note is when it says show assignment grades, any comments you made on that, the student will see as well. This can be a really valuable tool for the students to keep track of their grades, as well as getting them some really in-time feedback without having to take class time to do it. Coaches, this is, again, by default, these will all be turned on, but this is whoever is listed as a coach for any extracurricular, whether it is sports team or one of our non-sports athletic credit. So whether you want that turned on or off is completely up to you. And when you're done, click Save and Close. And my gradebook is now set for the year. I have my total points with weight, I have my display options set, and I have set my access, most importantly of all. As always, if you have any questions about this or any of our other videos, please contact the school's technology office directly. If you need help getting their contact, here in the group section, there will be a division-specific faculty toolbox, middle school, upper school, lower school, that you will have access to. You can click on that, and on the front page there should be contact information, current contact information for any of our school's technology personnel. Thank you for watching.